Good morning, it's Wednesday. Welcome to Saba's Way of Life. And the sun is out, finally. It's warm and sunny. Anyway, I've got my overalls on. This is my dad's old engineer's overall. Today is a leaf day and I'm going to be sowing as many leaf seeds as I can. That's the water component from a lunar cycle. And so let me turn this around and just show you the first round. So at the moment I'm focusing on spinach, and I've got all different types of spinach here. I've got leaf beet, perpetual spinach, which is a heritage variety. I'm sowing that. These are seeds that I saved from last year. Spinach seeds, and then I've got giant leaf spinach which I'm soaking, and I'll sow tomorrow. They need a good soak in water before you sow them. And then what else have I got? I've got a wonderful perennial sea spinach which I killed last year, but it needs somewhere in full sunlight, and I'm going to change its location. See, you learn from you learn from experience and mistakes, and it needs just a normal soil, but lots of sun, lots of flowers with it, and it does not tolerate shade at all, and I can't let it dry out, which is what I think I did last year. So then later on in the day, I'm going to try and get as many of these as I can into open ground. So I've got some kale here. Remember I said I had ordered too many seeds. Well, this is the problem that I've got. I've got Brussels sprouts. I'm telling you, Brussels sprouts grown at home are completely different to those you buy in the shops. Cabbage, I'll just do one or two of them because they take up so much room. And then, of course, I've got all the herbs. I've got the rocket and the basil and the sage and the chamomile and the mint. And I've got garlic. I've got wonderful wild garlic, which, of course, you grow for the leaves. And also some salad, some lettuce, and so on. So these are things I'm going to sow a few today. Very organised because everything is written down in my notebook, and I've got notes underneath it, which I've taken from the back of the seed packets, and the notes say sow consecutively month after month, or do XYZ, or sow again in autumn. So the more preparation you do in terms of writing things down and making notes, when you go back to it, you're not going to be a headless chicken. It's out of your head, like I mentioned in yesterday's very serious video, and you'll be able to get much more done because it's out of your head. Back in the day, going back some time, human beings were able to memorize things. We are so dumbed down now with all the rubbish in technology in our brains that we just can't think the way our ancestors used to. We haven't progressed, we have regressed, and I'm sure you'll all agree. We've lost touch with reality, and that's what we have to get back. Now, I also want to show you, in between the seed sowing, I'm going to be doing a few other things in the garden. It is already 1:45 here, so I've started late, but I was baking bread in a bread maker this morning. So I got the bread maker out, and I took my car for an MOT. In England, for those of you abroad, we have to get our car checked every year that make sure everything's working properly. It's not a service, and then you have to pay for it, and then you get a certificate, which then it's a bit of a scam. They can do that in the servicing, but it's just, anyway, let's not talk about that. So I'm in the garden, and I'm going to show you something else. We're 4 minutes, so we've got a good time. Look at this. See the grass? How beautiful that grass is. Now, what I want to do, because over the winter I had paving stones here, and what I want to do is cover all of this in grass and then put the paving stones in the right place. Over here as well. See, it's all a bit of a mess. That was deliberate because I need to walk up and down to feed the hens that are comfortably sitting here in the sun. Now, what I do, I sowed all this area last year, and it's beautiful and lush, and this is how I do it. I've gone onto websites and checked things about grass sowing, and then I thought, let me do this myself now that I've got an idea. Right, you see this? This is a scarifier. It's meant to have a handle in there, but I deliberately don't want to put one in. I bought it just like this off of eBay. right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to water the areas that need grass seed put down just in 2x2 sections so I can manage it. I don't want to do too much because I don't want to do my back in, and it's really creating variety in my day. So in my head it's much easier to do smaller sections. So I'm going to do a 2x2 section, 2 foot by 2 foot, water it, and then get the scarifier, get on my hands and knees with the knee pads on or a knee cushion, and I'm going to just whack the scarifier in with my hand. Look at the exercise here. It's so good for your, it's just your core. You're holding your core in, and I'm going to make holes in the ground. And then with the other side of the scarifier, it's got 2 sides to it, I'm going to scrape the soil so that the soil comes up and it's easier to grasp the seeds. Once I've done that, I'm going to water it well, and then I'm just going to scatter some ryegrass seeds, because ryegrass is quite hard wearing, ryegrass seeds over that area, and then water it down well. Put a little bit of compost on the top. My dad doesn't, but I'll probably stamp over it, put some compost on the top, and then within 5 to 6, 7 weeks it'll start growing. That way, by doing it in small sections, I won't have to walk over it because I'm up and down the garden, and I can walk around it. And then over the course of the spring and early summer, I'll do the whole lot of that grass in sections, and then eventually put the paving slabs where I want them to be. That's how I do it, and it's much easier, much more manageable, and you'll be surprised if you're focused how much you get done. So that is today. Just want to show you these tulips, which are very late, and we've had weird weather. Can you see how beautiful they look? Now, looking at these, what I've learned is I should have put the bulbs closer together. They're far too spaced out. Now, these are bulbs that I saved from last year, and this is why I'm so happy, because what I did last year with my tulips, when they had finished, because I need the land to sow other things, I had pulled them out in late autumn and in late summer, dried them off in the sun, and then stored them in the garage. And then I've replanted them. I replanted them in September. So I had pulled them out, it must have been in midsummer, dried them off, and then in September replanted them, and they've come out. So you can... that for me is a big success. All I need to remember is probably put them in a container next year and a lot closer together and pack them in. This is how you learn, by making errors and just practice. You start to feel, they're doing well here, these tulips, because the bulbs know the land here now. This is their 2nd year here. So all these things count. All right, so have a lovely day, and I hope you're all getting out into your garden.